Mr. Zhou, why did you keep me here? I'm impressed by what your highness just said, making me a little curious about your master and sect. And besides, according to Huili's attitude, you don't seem to want others to know about it, so I keep you here specifically to talk to you about it. Since you know that I don't want to talk about this thing, you should know that you won't get anything from this secret talk. I don't think so, you don't want to say, but I can guess. If I guess right, you can point it out. As far as I know, Wanao sect, the greatest evil sect in the Han Empire, is a sword sect. Each disciple of it has a red sword. The cultivation methods of Wanao sect are unfathomable and variable. With these cultivation methods, the disciples can kill masters whose cultivation levels are even higher than theirs. Well, my master never told me about our sect, so I don't know much about it. The Grand Elder of Xie Yan's sect insisted that I'm from Wanao sect. I think she misunderstood. Indeed, I don't think Huili has seen the cultivation methods of Wanao sect, so it's not surprising that she made a mistake, after all. In terms of age, your highness doesn't seem to be at the same age as Wei Qishuang, the disciple of Wanao sect in this generation. I'm afraid you are not the disciple of Wanao sect. And you're not even Princess Xilan Wei. You are disguising yourself as the princess. And want to take advantage of this identity to make a profit. Well, I know I can't lie about the Wanao sect for long, but I didn't expect that the person who saw it through isn't someone who attended the 9 sects meeting. Isn't it said that the disciple of the Wanao sect is mysterious? How come even a foreigner knows about her? And he also saw through my disguise as Xilan Wei. The rebels in the Imperial City and Zhou Yanping all figured out my identity. What on earth gave me away? That came out of nowhere, Mr. Zhou. Who else can I be if I am not Xilan Wei? You can be any pre-celestial stage master, but not that homeless princess, because I met Her Highness Xilan Wei once many years ago. At that time, I passed through Xilan Kingdom, and when I had an audience with the former king, I happened to meet Her Highness Xilan Wei. Few people know about this. We didn't talk much, but Her Highness should at least remember my name and looks. It shouldn't be like what you did today, as if we met for the first time. So it's not his first time here, and he even knew Xilan Wei before? If this is the reason that makes me expose myself, it's easy to solve. Well, nothing can be hidden from you. Actually, I have lost almost all my memories of the past since I left Xilan, and I have long forgotten what had happened. I didn't know we had met before. You lost your memories? In order not to unsettle people, Shiliu City has been keeping it secret. Please don't reveal it, Mr. Zhou. That's an excellent excuse. Fine. As long as you adhere to the truce and do not start a war in Xilan, I don't care if your identity is true. However, I am a little curious. Do you know you are a chosen talented seed? Chosen talented seed, what does it mean? Looks like you don't know. You still remember what you did in the Imperial City a few days ago, right? You stirred up the power of Path of Sword on your own, which wouldn't happen if it wasn't done by a cultivator. But if you had started your path, you shouldn't have felt constrained when fighting the Keshwaxi sect. I can't figure out your realm, but you could trigger the heavenly vision before starting your path. You are undoubtedly the legendary chosen talented seed. Is that the meaning of chosen talented seed? What are the benefits of it? Can it help me absorb a few more auras of heaven and earth to speed up my cultivation? Turns out it's a misunderstanding Becalize of the inferior power of combining spirit and body I brought back from the small world. What a coincidence. I thought you were unidentified, but I figure that you are not from a small sect by what you have said. Although you are not the disciple of the Wanao sect, at least you've learned from an acknowledged evil sect. Are you from one of the 9 evil sects in the Han Empire? Don't give me that look. I didn't see through your identity. It's just that only the evil sects advocate aura in the world. Since ancient times, the evil sects have believed that there is a resource called the aura in nature, which can decide the speed of cultivation. How much aura a person obtains throughout his life decides whether he can reach the peak of the pre-celestial stage and embark on a journey of enlightenment. That's why every evil sect thinks all the places left by the ancient sects are connected to the path. The doors linking those ancient places to the path would open every 30 or 40 years. By then, people can absorb the aura from the path. Yet, it's just plain ridiculous. The path is supreme, and it's not something like water that the ordinary can reach and obtain. Aura does exist, but it's merely a unique breath released by cultivators at different realms. It's a pity that most evil sects are stubborn, turning a deaf ear to others. In a sense, the debate of aura is also one of the reasons for the dispute between the righteous sects and the evil sects since ancient times. I remember imparting elder told me that there isn't only one saying about aura, but different sects have different theories. Looks like the view of the righteous sects is quite different from that of the evil sects. Mr. Zhou, as you said, how to explain the cultivation cycle about every 3 or 4 decades? The cultivation of martial arts in the world is essentially only a process of seeking a path. The so-called path is like the sun in the sky shining for everyone. We cultivators are merely observing its shape, studying things and gaining insights. The essence of cultivation isn't about plunder and occupation of resources, but enlightenment. Everyone has his own path, just as everything has its own shadow. As long as you observe and understand your path, you can break through realms and improve your cultivation. As for the so-called cultivation cycle, the shadow of the sun changes in length, and the path is also periodic. When the cultivation opportunity occurs every 3 or 4 decades, it's the time that people are closest to their own path, and it naturally costs them less effort on cultivation. I see, according to Confucianism, so-called cultivation is to observe and understand one's path. The more you do it, the higher realm you will reach, and one day you can combine your spirit and body. Back then, Xie Yan made breakthroughs frequently with one thought. It seems that the cultivation of the righteous sects is to rack one's brain. As long as you figure it out, you can easily get enlightened and promoted. But what do all these have to do with the chosen talented seed? Since cultivation is like shadow observation, so-called talent depends on the clarity of the past shadow. But for the chosen talented seed, the gap between observation and enlightenment doesn't exist at all, so you can face your own path at any time. This is a once-in-a-century aptitude for cultivation in the world. Compared with the techniques of amateur cultivators and evil sects, righteous sects techniques are more suitable for you. I'd hate to see your talent be consumed on the wrong path, so I am here to give you some advice and set things right today. Damn, does he mean to poach me from the evil sect after saying so much? Or does he want me to switch sides and join his sect? But I am not a chosen talented seed at all. I just forcibly connected with the path with the power obtained from the small world. What's more, I have got promoted through the system all the time. The speed of the cultivation doesn't matter to me at all. It happened too abruptly. I'd love to if you'd give me your sect's cultivation techniques, but is there really such a thing as a free lunch? I get it. Acts speak louder than words. You can judge how our techniques are, and whether they are suitable for you after seeing them with your own eyes. You mean, you want to spar with me? Not exactly. Our techniques are different from your ever-changing ones. We are not good at attacking but have advantages in other aspects. You will find it out with your sword. Speaking of which, I really haven't seen many techniques apart from the evil sections. Anyway, there is nothing wrong with learning something else. Alright, let's go outside. Don't take the trouble, we can just try it here. Here? Aren't you afraid to break these things? I don't think there will be a problem as I will just show it a little. I am sure about that even though I am not good at fighting. Fair enough. Then I'm coming, Mr. Zhou. Take this. Is this a shield? No, an ordinary shield with internal power can't disperse the evil power of the sky-sealing sword. It's not so much that my attack was blocked but stopped. I didn't withdraw my sword, but its power seemed to be exhausted. There were no barriers to internal power, but it seemed to vanish into thin air. Moreover, it is not only he who is protected, but even the surrounding space is also affected by these words, and the sword energy of the sky-sealing sword is easily dissolved by these words. What a bizarre sword! If it weren't for the Confucian technique's effect of rectification and righteousness, I'm afraid it would be hard for me to resist it. No wonder you dared to pretend to be the disciple of the Wendao sect in front of the evil sects with it. However, this sword alone can't crack my technique of disarming. Once it is performed, things around me are under my protection, and no one can raise a fight. Before combing spirit and body, Confucian techniques are far weaker than those of the evil sects when it comes to unpredictable moves and attacks. But when it comes to the unity of paths and techniques, and the power of imperative orders, we are second to none. Confucian techniques are indeed something, but I've learned something from his move just now. No matter how mysterious his means is, its essence is still internal power. I have already witnessed your technique, but I suddenly want to try one more. So please, take this. Huh! Not bad. This attack is much more overwhelming, and it did surprise me a bit. He was just a little surprised. The evil sword spirit obviously exerted its power just now, and he suppressed it with his strength, and now he is quite calm. However, he really got something. The ability to act on things around him is what I can't manage to do at the moment. It's a useful ability for me. Even if I can only learn a little, I can complete it with the system later. I'm flattered, and I am indeed impressed by Confucian techniques after this fight. You said I am a chosen talented seed, suitable for cultivating Confucian techniques. I am wondering if you can guide me. It has been my wish to bring you back to the right path, and I will teach you everything for sure. It's just that Confucian cultivation doesn't follow a certain set of methods, which is very different from the evil sections. We advocate teaching students by their aptitudes. People cultivate through different paths, especially a chosen talented seed like you. I'd like to recommend a suitable sect to you, where you can start with learning and gradually observe your own path. That's troublesome. I can't take a shortcut with the system if there is no technique to be recorded. I see. Yet, as you said just now, shadow observation and enlightenment are the common means to all righteous sects, but as far as I know, a sect like Xie Yan sect still takes technique passing as their main way. Surely, different techniques should be cultivated in different ways. If you seek truth from Taoist sects, you will certainly gain something, but it won't be as pure as the Confucian sects, and can't bring your advantage as a chosen talented seed into full play. Oh? I'm all ears. Humph? This is. A chosen talented seed is born to seek Tao. You are making a detour by cultivating techniques. He has never produced any origin points, which made me think he was at a higher cultivation level and cool-headed, but now it seems that I was wrong. Greed? Could it be that he covets the so-called chosen talented seed? Looks like he got other plans secretly. More importantly, why are there two names in the origin point information? Could it be? Did I say something wrong? No, I was just thinking there are thousands of profound cultivation techniques in the world. It's indeed biased to be confined to the evil sects. If you don't mind, I'd like to go to the Ming Empire with you to learn Confucian theories after things in Xilan are done. It's not the right time to think it over now. I'd better pretend not to be aware of it, so as not to complicate my plans for taking treasury. I don't mind it. The whole point of my journey is to cultivate and get enlightened. It's about time to go back to the Ming Empire. Yet what do you mean by saying after things are done? Surely, I was talking about the chaos of the Xilan treasury. If it isn't settled, how can I leave the Xilan kingdom with peace of mind? The chaos of the Xilan treasury, not the chaos of the Xilan kingdom? It seems that you have no intention of settling down and inheriting the throne. Ahem, I am not the best candidate to lead the country as I have lost my memory. After I put down the chaos and save my mother, I will properly handle the succession to the throne. You don't have to explain anything to me. It's just that you seem to want something in the treasury too. But what exactly do you want? Is it a treasure? Power source stones? Or? I've lost all my memories, so I don't remember what is in there, but since it belongs to our royal family, I won't allow any outsiders to hog it. But you seem to know a lot about things in the treasury. I'm also curious about what in our treasury makes the two evil sects fight so hard. Can you tell me? All right, I accidentally learned it when mediating the dispute between the two evil sections. Have you ever heard of flameless holy fire? What is it? Legend has it that there was a sect named Grand Light sect in the western regions in ancient times, which took flame as their path. It was once worshipped as the state religion by all the countries in the western regions, and its power was overwhelming throughout the world. The so-called Xilan treasury is formerly one of the treasuries of this sect, and the most precious thing in it is an inheritance called flameless holy fire. This item enables the user to connect to the path, thus skipping the most perilous obstacle in combining spirit and body. More importantly, it can ignore the deviation of the path, burn out the shackles of techniques, and create a thoroughfare that is feasible for anyone. In other words, as long as someone at the peak of the 6th level of the pre-celestial stage possesses it, he can successfully reach the 7th level. For many small sects, such an amazing treasure is their only hope for breaking through. The Grand Light sect was destroyed by a joint siege of small sects after going through internal disorder back then. Yet, no one expected there would be a flameless holy fire in the treasury. I see. If what you said is true, this item is indeed priceless. It depends on who owns it. Although it is helpful, it's an external force after all, so what it helps achieve can only be regarded as mediocre. Cultivators from big sects with ancient inheritances would follow their own paths to cultivate. At least, shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you will still land among the stars. However, the top-grade paths are quite demanding on talents. Not everyone has the talent to cross that threshold even if he is from a strong sect like Keshwaxi sect or Chiliang sect. With this efficient item, even if it can't get people to the top, it's still worth two sects fighting for. In contrast, for a chosen talented seed like you, or cultivators like me who seek a path on our own, it's not hard to achieve a top-grade path that solely belongs to ourselves. Flameless holy fire is simply useless to us. It's okay if you insist on making a decision after the treasury is opened, but now that you are Xilan Wei, no matter which side wins in the end, you can take what you need. I sincerely advise you to let everything take its course, don't make it more complex. This is the best way for you to get benefits from this game. Your Highness, you are finally out. You guys go to fetch the camels, we are going back to Shiliu City. Huayu, what on earth did Zhou Yanping say to you? Will it affect our plans? Huayu? It's nothing, he just told me something to pay attention to after the truce. That's it. Don't fool me, your expression means something else. To be honest, it's something about cultivation. He was curious about where Xilan Wei got such mysterious power. It's about secrets of my cultivation, so you don't need to know. Go to help fetch the camels. You are so petty, I am so close to you, and you won't lose anything if you tell me a little. I don't know if I would lose anything, but if you find out things about the chosen talented seed, I'm afraid you'll do me a disservice. Speaking of which, I don't think I'm really a so-called chosen talented seed. He was probably making a fool of me. But the legendary flameless holy fire is indeed a good thing. I've already connected to the path of sword, but it doesn't hinder me from getting a few more different paths. It's just that I can't let Yenryu find it out. Otherwise, no one knows what trouble she will make. Except for that, there is one more important thing. By the way, have you ever heard of a name called Xie Yan when traveling around? Is there any pre-celestial stage master in the Ming Empire called this name? Xie Yan? Why did you mention that? It's not your business, just tell me whether you have heard of it or not. Well, I did. Xie Yan was a little famous in the world, but he was not from the Ming Empire, but from the Han Empire. He was the former leader of the Ji family in the Jiangnan region. Technically, he was an ancestor of Ji Yuntao, Child Warm Jade, one of the 5 childs. Besides, he was an exceptional pre-celestial stage master in the Ji family. However, he only ended up at the first level of the pre-celestial stage. Turns out he's from the Ji family. But how come he got involved with Confucian scholars in the Ming Empire? Hold on, you said he was the former leader of the Ji family, which means... As far as I know, Xie Yan has been dead for many years. It's said that he died of illness, and now the current leader of the Ji family is someone with the middle name Zhang at the post-celestial stage. He's dead? Then where did the origin points I received come from? The system doesn't lie. Is it a coincidence to have the same name? No, it's abnormal to have 2 names in the prompt at once. The weirder the answer, the more likely it is close to the truth. Could it be that Xie Yan revived in Zhou Yanping's dead body? Or has he possessed Zhou Yanping's body? Damn, I just dealt with Yi Daoqi, and now a new monster came out. It just won't end, will it? Does his greed for chosen talented seeds have something to do with this weird coexistence? Forget it. Either way, it's better to stay away from him for now. Although my disguise has been seen through, my identity has not been revealed yet. I'll leave here the moment I snatch the treasury, and then no one can cause me trouble. Let's get out of here first.
Looks like she has figured out something.
I suppose she has. What I said just now shouldn't give me away. But I could clearly sense her breath of the path when I took her attack. I just had guessed she was a chosen talented seed, but after taking the attack, I could confirm that she is. The obsession that had never come true for many years welled up, which did stir up my mind a little bit.
You mean, just that momentary impulse was captured by her?
Interesting. I didn't expect her to have this kind of ability.
You shouldn't have leased the information of flameless holy fire to sound out. If this news keeps getting out, it will attract too many hungry wolves, and the game in Xilan Kingdom may not develop according to your script.
You are too cautious. After that, at least we are sure that she didn't know about it beforehand, and the reason why she got involved is most likely to do with the missing Xilan Wei. Besides, it can keep her here instead of retreating halfway.
I am still alive today because I've stayed cautious. Otherwise, I would have been wiped out by the D family. You are deeply obsessed with the chosen talented seed, which is not a good thing.
Don't worry, even if this plan fails, it will be just a waste of time, and I can do it again. Or worse, even if we alarm the D family, they will only end up tracking me down, so it won't affect your cause. Let's get back to this chosen talented seed. I have to take action before the treasury is opened. However, based on the test just now, I am sure it's not hard to defeat her, but capturing her alive is almost impossible.
Make a good plan, and I will help you once.
That will be great if you are willing to do so. I feel relieved. After I set the ritual, I will invite her again. Although she is vigilant now, she will soon put this threat aside, after all. The Confucian doctrine you have imposed on us can even affect the sect leader of the Xinhua sect. She's just an immature chosen talented seed. She can't escape from your clutches. The current situation is that I'm fixing my eyes on the Xilan treasury and trying to trap the two evil sects, while Zhou Yanping is fixing his eyes on me. I don't care who he or Jijinia is. Right now, I have the identity of Xilan Wei as a cover. Everything will be easy to solve as long as no incident happens to Xie Yan. If Zhou Yanping is only at the 4th level of the pre-celestial stage, he can do nothing to me, and actually, that's what happened on the spot. But why do I feel creepy all the time? Have I been traumatized by Yi Daoqi? Never mind, I should focus on the treasury. The gate of the moon is fine. The only thing that worries me is that the gate of the sun might be opened ahead of time. Instead of keeping Yenryu with me like gum, without knowing what she is up to, it's better to send her back to cause trouble, and that's the only role she can play now. It's been days since you were sent here to seduce me. The show almost ends, and it's time for our audiences to pay the price, right? Indeed. Next, we will just wait for the Imperial City to send someone here to negotiate with you, and then we'll go along and do what Tu Lanja asks. There is nothing to wait for. Don't you have your own man among the Shadow Guards? Just order that person to report that I agree to cooperate. As for the reason, you can make it up at will. Your main task is to hinder your progress of the Keshwaxi hard sect cracking the gate of the sun, instead of flirting with me here, understand? Don't get mad at me. I get it, I'm going back right away. 2 days later. Did you say that Yan Shigu agreed to the truce offered by Zhou Yanping without taking my stand into account? Exactly, Yu Rian participated in their talk, and I'm sure this news he brought back is true. I think it's very important. Plus we have achieved the goal of our original plan, so I acted on my own to call Yu Rian back to report it to you in person. Well done. If it weren't for you sending back the news in time, I would still be in the dark. Damn Keshwaxi sect, how dare they treat me with disrespect? Why should they respect you since you are weak? What an arrogant fool. I wonder how he destroyed the Xilan royal family back then. What are you going to do, my lord? Since he showed no respect, I don't need to be kind either. Give out my order. Delay the supply of all materials for the Keshwaxi sect from today onwards. Since he gave no thought to me, I don't have to help him fight for the treasury. My lord, please calm down. You can't do this. No matter how carefully we do it, the Keshwaxi sect may become resentful towards us. We've finally gained a firm foothold. After the truce is over, you can seize the whole country and be the king. You can't act on impulse and make things uncertain at this moment. What's more, Qiliang's sect will probably lose the fight for the treasury. Based on the way they do things, they may regard you as a target for revenge. It's hard to deal with one evil sect, so how can we secretly offend another one? Well, that makes sense. In my opinion, currently, we should support the Keshwaxi sect to seize the treasury regardless of the cost, so that we can still ask them for help to fight the Qiliang sect if they go to the extreme. I see. But given what Yan Shai did, will he help me again if there is no benefit? You got the point, my lord. Since we have achieved our goal in Shilio City, I am wondering if we can convince that fake Xilan Wei to take our side. Well, according to my observation, she does target the treasury. That's why she disguised herself as the princess to get involved. Now, she is obsessed with Yu Rian and has indulged in pleasure. She isn't hostile to your lordship and even decided not to interfere in the civil strife. It's possible to draw her over to our side, but she made a few conditions. Conditions? Go ahead. The first condition is about the Xilan treasury. Except for the thing that the two evil sects fight for, all the remaining treasures there will belong to her. That's okay. Just as you said, this fake Xilan Wei has reached an agreement with the two evil sects in the thatched cottage, and his lordship surely won't say anything about it. What about the second one? As for the second one, she asked us to hand over Queen Saiya to her. Queen Saiya? Isn't this Xilan Wei a fake one? Why does she want the former queen? Does she actually have something to do with the Xilan royal family? Looks like Tu Lanja is not very confident. That makes sense. He wouldn't be nice to a puppet queen of the previous dynasty. If he really gets such strong support, I'm afraid that there will be no peaceful life for him. I felt confused as well, but she said she knew the real Xilan Wei and promised to keep her mother safe before the real Xilan Wei died. She said she must fulfill the promise even though she has decided not to interfere in the affairs of Xilan Kingdom again. We can't trust her only with her word promise. Perhaps, like us, she wants to seize Queen Saiya as a puppet so she can secretly control the whole kingdom. If we hand the queen over, his lordship will lose the bargaining chip. It is indeed possible. As I expected, the rebels won't let go of the queen easily, but I can't make our side behave too anxiously, which may betray our intentions. It seems that it's not easy to unmask Huayu in one step. I can only fall back on the second resort. I also thought of these worries, and I've got the fake Xilan Wei to make a concession. She said it doesn't matter even if we don't hand over the queen, but she must see the queen with her own eyes. Besides, she said your lordship should be nice to Queen Saiya and never treat her lightly in the future. If you agree, she'll kind of live up to the promise she made to the dead Xilan Wei. Well, I think it's fair enough. It's just that we need time to make an arrangement. We will get someone to deliver his lordship's reply back to Shiliu's city tomorrow. Arrangement? I'm afraid they are going to spend time disciplining that queen, in case she will say something that embarrasses everyone in front of Xilan Wei. But it doesn't matter, the following things will be simple as long as they get her out. Anyway, you did a good job this time. According to the promise, from today on, you will be the head of the Shadow Guards, and this man will be a formal Shadow Guard as well. Grant them 100 taels of gold and 1,000 cattle and sheep. Thank you, my lord. Tu Lange's reaction was as I expected, but it's a pity that if it weren't for Zhang Yi, with Tu Lange's mind, he would be surely agitated to fight the Keshwuxi sect. Master, our plan is going well. What are we going to do next? You are now the head of the Shadow Guards. You're qualified to dispatch the spies in the Imperial City. Make an arrangement first to lay the foundation for locking the hiding place of Queen Saiya later. However, you just took power, and everyone is keeping an eye on you, so keep a low profile. I will also do something to create opportunities for you. As long as we rescue the queen, I will teach you the techniques of the Chongling sect, so that you can refine your deceased husband's soul into a ghost, and keep him with you all the time. Thank you, Master. On the other hand, although it isn't the primary goal, you need to get ready to delay the Keshwuxi sect's progress of opening the treasury. You can start with the materials and personnel that Tu Lanja provides them. See which part you can tamper with. Got it, but we don't need to investigate the personnel for the Keshwuxi sect, because Zhang Yi is the only one. I got this news a few days ago, but I didn't get a chance to tell you. Zhang Yi again? By tomorrow, I need everything about this guy, including what you and the Shadow Guards have learned, understand? I'm on it. I was preoccupied with searching for the queen before, without paying attention to people except for Tu Lanja. After investigating, I found out that Zhang Yi is quite something. He's just a descendant of a slave from the Han Empire. He was humble back then. Later, he was recruited by Tu Lanja, who was a low-level general back then. He followed Tu Lanja as his counselor until Tu Lanja rebelled. After Tu Lanja got support from Keshwuxi sect, Zhang Yi has become the intermediary between Tu Lanja and Keshwuxi sect. Besides, he has been thought highly of by Yan Shirgu because of his arithmetical ability, and helped to crack the gate of the sun. He can be said to be the bond between Tu Lanja and Keshwuxi sect, and also an indispensable talent for Keshwuxi sect to open the treasury. If only he is killed, the progress of the Keshwuxi sect to crack the gate of the sun will be greatly impeded. After all, I tried to get the queen out without telling Huayu. If I can solve this matter, it's kind of compensation to him, so he won't fall out with me. According to the intelligence, Zhang Yi is only at the 5th level of the post-celestial stage, so it's not difficult to deal with him. But just to be safe, it's better not to reveal my identity as Urian, so I can only ask Mei Ling to do it. Whenever he returns home from the palace, he is bound to pass through this dark alley. He can't sense a ghost of the Chongling sect as he is just at the post-celestial stage. It couldn't be easier to kill him silently. Who's there? Die. Keshwaxi sect, full protecting shield. It's a mechanic technique of the Keshwaxi sect. As I expected, he is so important that Yan Shirgu wouldn't overlook his safety. It's a pity that he didn't use this good thing in time. Mei Ling attacked him first, and he died. Wait, he's only seriously injured? There's something wrong with him. It should be impossible for him to withstand Mei Ling's attack with his strength. What was I thinking? Right. He was so lucky that he didn't die after being hit by Mei Ling. This mechanism seems to be hard to crack in a short time. Although he is alive, I have achieved my goal, and the reinforcement of the Keshwaxi sect should be here soon. Humph? Here he comes. He's here so fast. Has the Keshwaxi sect sent someone to stay by Zhang Yi's side and protect him all the time? He badly hurt Mei Ling with only one hit. His cultivation level is far greater than mine, and I can't fight him head-on. Mei Ling is trapped. She can't break free on her own. I have to. To have such strength, he is at least at the second level of the pre-celestial stage. I was careless. I must get away from here. 5 elements shift, black water cover sun. She escaped? There are no traces of her aura. What an ultimate fleeing art. She appeared so abruptly, and the techniques she used seemed to be part of the Chongling sect, the attempt on Zhang Yi's life. Is she a helper asked by the Qiliang sect, or is there another evil sect getting involved? However, on top of that, there is another thing that bothers me more. Shinong's mantra of Dark Sun I used wasn't brought to its full play just now, and I had a vague feeling of my internal power being absorbed. Could it be? How come there is such a master of the Keshwaxi sect except for Yan Shirgu in the Imperial City? Why you never mentioned it in his previous information? Luckily, I changed back into the woman's clothes in advance. Now the assassination would alert them at most even though it failed. He couldn't trace me down as I used 5 elements shift to flee. As long as my identity as Urian isn't exposed, the overall situation won't be affected. If you hadn't been trapped, I wouldn't have had to rush out and been hit by that guy. If it happens again, I won't do such an unenviable thing. Anyway, you are just a ghost, and you will get restored even if you are broken apart. It cost me much effort to reach the pre-celestial stage, but I have been suffering failures these days. It seems that everyone can hurt me. It is really frustrating. But in the final analysis, it's because I'm not strong enough. I haven't been able to break through for so long, which even makes your strength stalled. My peers who were left behind by me when I was at the post-celestial stage have overtaken me now. After the 9 sects meeting, many of them have reached the second level of the pre-celestial stage before I did. For them, I, evil Jade Reality, am just useless eye candy. Nevertheless, these problems will be solved soon. What happened today imposes no impact on the whole picture. As long as Tu Lanja brings the queen out, it won't be hard to save her with Huayu's help. Nothing will hinder my cultivation if the Xinhua oath is lifted, and your strength will enhance as well. When that time comes, we will. Xinhua oath? Is it the reason that your cultivation level has no changes after you reach the pre-celestial stage? It's a big deal. Why didn't you report it to the sect? And you even kept it from me? Dushi, at the 3rd level of the pre-celestial stage, from Chongling sect. Master. What brought you here? Great, she finally came here. You disregarded our sect crisis and Mr. Du's order but came to this damned place secretly. As your master, shouldn't I care about it? When I got here, I heard you talking to Mei Ling again. I have told you to get rid of this childish habit many times. You're no longer a child, yet you still use the ghost control technique like a game. Talking to the ghost who only knows fighting is a childish behavior, which would make you become a laughingstock for others. Tell me, how come you've been cursed by the Xinhua oath? Why didn't you report it? Besides, who is Huayu you mentioned? As far as I know, it's supposed to be no one in the sect to come here with you. It sounds like you are suspecting me, Master. Yes, I am. You have been weird and doing things recently. I know about you. You must be trying to hide something. The Xinhua oath is a serious matter. It should be impossible for you not to report it to the sect, but you really didn't, Either you are absolutely sure that you can solve it on your own, or there is something that you don't want the sect to know. Does it have anything to do with Huayu you mentioned? Who is he? What are you up to exactly? I'm sorry, Master. I shouldn't think of taking credit and keeping it from you. Please forgive me, Master. Take credit? What credit is worth you making in this small country in the western region? It's a long story. I'll explain it thoroughly to you. Are you saying the power source stone? It's actually hidden in the Xie Yan treasury. No wonder you have been running around for the past 2 years. Turns out it's for something in the Xie Yan kingdom. In the first place, I thought Xie Yan was merely a small country, and I could easily handle it on my own. However, I didn't expect that it would take me great effort to get the key to the treasury, and when I got it, even the 9 sects meeting was over. After the 9 sects meeting, a conflict broke out between our sect and Xie Yan sect. If you can bring back the power source stone to help our sect leader to exert his miracle sign or to set up another sect gate to fight the Xie Yan sect, it will be indeed a great accomplishment. No wonder you have been acting weird lately, as if you deliberately tried to keep away from the fight between us and the Xie Yan sect. You even hid it from me just for this matter. Master, I know I did it wrong. In fact, I discovered another 2 evil sects involved after I returned to the Xie Yan kingdom. I thought of asking you for help, but Huayu stopped me, so. Cut it out, I brought you up, I know you very well, stop saying that it's someone else's idea. However, what you did is beneficial to our sect since I followed you up here by accident. I won't care much about your plan. Get up. Thank you, Master. As you said, you and Huayu that you mentioned were deceived by Xie Yan Wei to make the Xie Yan oath. Now he's disguised himself as Xie Yan Wei, yet no one has seen him through? Then why do you call him so intimately? You might not know that he not only masters swordsmanship but also a secret technique that can confuse people and tamper with ordinary people's cognition. It's not easy to perform perfect disguise skills, but it wouldn't give him away as long as he can bewilder Xie Yan people with weak cultivation base. After all, no one in the evil sects saw the real Xie Yan Wei before. As for intimacy, that's because the fleeing art I acquired by chance has the same origin as his. I see. Good, I've changed the role of the story about how Huayu and I met and told it to her. She probably believes it. With her trust, even if someone brings up again the suspicious actions that Mr. Shi thought I made, I have a reason to convince them. More importantly, Huayu is mysterious and unpredictable. I made some judgments before, but I am not sure if I was right, and I'm too passive now. This old woman is essential, in case Huayu will kill me after the matter in the Xie Yan kingdom is done. She is probably no match for Huayu when fighting head-on, but when it comes to grabbing treasures, she has a great advantage. I can't do it myself, but with her as my secret card, I may be able to fight Huayu for the power source stone and even something more precious in the treasury, after the Xie Yan oath is lifted. I got it. Given that you have a plan, I'll stay out of it. You can go to save the queen and grab the treasure as planned, and I will hide out in the dark and remove the formation for you. However, the power source stone must be taken back to our sect, and you need to figure out how to deal with Huayu after that. That's for sure. I knew you would be supportive, Master. Gate of the Sun in the palace. It's about Queen Saiya. Tulanja wants us to help him. Moreover, given Xie Yan Wei's way of doing things, she may snatch the queen on the spot if you are not there. Humph, what a good plan they set up. They just couldn't wait to fawn on someone else. So you mean? It's fine to do it, they have their plan, and we have ours. Since this fake Xie Yan Wei has something to ask for, we can take advantage of it to restrain the Xiliang sect. Mr. Yan, bad news? News from the Shadow Guards. Zhang Yi was attacked. What did you say? Why did it happen? Who did it? I was told that he was attacked in an alley, and he survived by activating the mechanism you gave him. The killer had already gone when the patrol was there. Although there was no trace of poison at the scene, the patrol thought it must be done by someone from Shilio City, and they concealed their techniques, on purpose. Of course, they did, except for those women. Who else would do such a dirty thing? How is Zhang Yi now? Can he continue to do the cracking work? I was told that he is now in a coma, and it's not sure if he can survive. Very good, the Xiliang sect played such a dirty trick on me. Search the whole city. I must root out all the spies they have planted here this time. 2 days later, in Shilio City. Master, my ghost found a strange bug crawling out of a Xie Yan nobleman again. it turned into a butterfly and flew away. I saw it. I'd like to see what these witches are plotting. But Master, how did you know that there's something wrong with the Xie Yan sect? And you even asked me to release ghosts in advance to keep an eye on the people and the noble in Xilio City? Right after I got in town, I found that the Xie Yan sect had done something to almost all the people here. However, it's a kind of method used by evil sects to control useful outsiders. Well, yeah, it's quite like something that the Xie Yan sect would do. That's what I thought before until some time ago, in the banquet that was held for days here, I saw more than one Xilan nobleman carrying the same tiny bugs. Xie Yan sect thought that I couldn't notice it, but they didn't know how keen my perception of the demonic art of Moro is. In theory, Xie Yan sect got no reason to control the nobles of Xilan anymore. After I took my stand, it wouldn't do them any good except for making me resent them more. After I questioned them, Xie Yan sect explained that was a medical bug that can remove toxins in the nobles, and then they even showed me its function in person. However, I didn't believe that the selfish evil sect would be so kind. Even if they were trying to fawn on me, they should take the initiative to tell me the truth, instead of waiting for me to question them. I feel that they have a big conspiracy. Are they going to sacrifice all the people in Xilio City to make a blood ritual? Whom are they going to set up? A blood ritual? You're imaginative. Just follow up and we will find out. The place these bugs are flying to must hide their secret. We'll just destroy what our enemy wants. Deep in the Gobi. It's the last batch of essence blood, after the bug leaves its host. It can't be collected back anymore. Grand Elder said that she won't come here in the following days. Xilan Wei may go to keep an eye on her as she is suspecting us, so you and I will take over the business of refining blood. But blood refining bug is so ferocious that the two of us may not be able to withstand it. Don't worry, Grand Elder has left our spiritual blood marks on it, so it won't have much desire to hurt us. If I get this thing done well, I will be promoted to an elder, and I will no longer be a disciple anymore. Huh? Where is she? Something goes wrong. Where am I? Why can't I see anything? Not only my eyes but also sounds and smells, and even the sensation of my body have gone too. Magic realm variant, senses sealed. What did you do, Your Highness? Why can't they move? It's just a variant of the magic realm, don't touch them. Without my control, this technique would be hard to maintain if there is external interference. It can only control people at the first level of the pre-celestial stage temporarily. Let me see what this thing is. It needs so much essence blood. Is this what they were talking about? Blood refining bug? In the camp of the Xie Yan sect. Huili, maybe due to some irritation, there has been something wrong with the confusing bug inside Zhang Yi's body. Anyway, since it hasn't been killed, it's not found out yet. Maybe its erosion of the host's brain aroused the host's resistant instinct. No big deal. With the brain damage Zhang Yi holding him back, Yan Shirgu must feel annoyed now. Remember how arrogant he was in the cottage? Everything's under his control? Naive, we're the real master of schemes. Anyway, Huili, we have to speed things up. I don't want to see that damn Xilan Wei pull an attitude with me in the end. Don't worry, I loathe that either, and the cultivation of the key just goes well. She's powerful physically but as weak intellectually as Yan Shirgu. She'll never know that we just put her on the back burner, and may never turn to her except in the worst-case scenario. She doesn't know that Xilan Che is on our side and just gave her some ambiguous information about the Gate of the Moon. And on that day, we'll just need to stall her on the way while our men open the treasury with the key in advance and take the treasures. After that, we'll tell her it's time and take her to the gate, and when she sees the empty treasury, she'll easily take it as the Keshwaxi sect's doing. Ha. I can't wait to see her annoyed face. What a dumbass, didn't she even think of the reason that we just guarded the Gate of the Moon before she showed up? She even thinks she's indispensable. Our real trump card is your blood-refining bug, rather than the so-called last royal member of the Xilan kingdom. But that's understandable. After all, she's just a poor girl who lost her memories. And even if she didn't lose her memories, she wouldn't have thought that I had blood-refining bug. She is the last direct royal member. But for the past several hundred years, the branches of the royal family have long spread throughout the entire Xilan kingdom. As long as my blood-refining bug can get enough blood from the collateral members, it only takes time to refine the pure royal blood. And now, it's almost time. I don't know what the hell is this, But it must be a good thing since the Xie Yan sect hid it with great care, so I'll take it. The blood-refining bug looks so evil, and it seems to be tough to deal with judging from their conversation. Silly, I'm even okay with the evil seed, can this be even eviler? Let me just stab it. The gears of the Confederacy sect are so powerful, and the Xie Yan sect could even cultivate evil bugs. Well, the 9 evil sections. They do live up to their reputation. Huh. Not bad, it could even take my blow. Humph? Oh, it's so fierce. It asked for this, since I can't control it, I'll just kill it. And it seems to be good material for sword refining, let's see if it can come in handy. If I can refine the sky-sealing sword with this evil blood control art, no one will ever suspect my identity again. Xie Yan Wei will really be the disciple of the Windao sect. Demonic art of Moro. Normally, it's not easy to handle this bug. However, it's just something refined by some secret art. And the evil smell of rosefinch is good at dealing with things like this. Evil smell of rosefinch. Huh. No, someone is attacking the blood-refining bug. Huili, are you okay? I can't feel the blood-refining bug at all, it was killed. Who did this? It would even take time for an ordinary level 3 pre-celestial cultivator to make it. You just killed this bug so easily? The evil smell of rosefinch has thrown this bug off course. If its owner was nearby, he or she might have had a chance to adjust it with the internal power. But now, with only this bug here, it's nothing but a sitting duck. After checking this thoroughly, I'll refine it and the armor fragment into the sky-sealing sword. The Confederacy sect and Xie Yan sect contributed a lot to my sky-sealing sword. Thanks a lot. What's this red stuff? Blood-refining bug shit? Whatever, I'll just put it back and take it as well. Let's leave before these two wake up. Even if the Xie Yan sect arrives, they won't even know who did it. Don't be silly, the Xie Yan sect is not made of idiots, they will find out this. And why don't we take the initiative to reinforce my image before that? How could it be? Where's the key? I had you guard here, how could this be? Why didn't you send any warning to our station in Shilio City? We don't know what happened. Anyway, we suddenly went unconscious. When we woke up, things had become like this, and the key was missing. Fine. Given her various mysterious techniques, these weak disciples couldn't fight against her at all, and… Look at this note. Even if we could make it, we couldn't stop her from venting her anger on the blood-refining bug unless at the price of our lives. Firstly, you invaded the Xie Yan kingdom and bullied my people. Secondly, you buttered me up but plotted against me behind my back. I'll give you the last chance, if you dare to harm my people again. I'll kill you just like I killed the bug, I mean it. What? She means we should be grateful since she doesn't come to us now. She may be unhappy to see us collecting her people's blood. But we didn't kill any of them, no? She killed the blood-refining bug at will and thus hurt you, who was connected to it as its owner. She's so… Stop it! I didn't expect her to be this clever to completely guess our whole plan. Without the bug as the key, we can only rely on her to open the Xie Yan treasury. Don't get personal. You go back to remove the bugs from all the royal members and heal them right now. We need to make up for what we've done ASAP. Fine, I admit defeat, but I won't give up the Xie Yan treasury. Let's see if she can resist all my girls alone after getting into the treasury. We're done with all the problems here and only need to focus on the Confederacy sect. Hope that Yenryu is smart enough and won't get tricked. Rest assured, she's astute. Except for you, no one can trick her. But are we leaving Zhou Yanping alone? Will there be anything wrong with him? Of course not, and even in that case, the Confederacy sect and the Xie Yan sect will take care of him. I just need to keep my distance from him and stay out of this. Wait, why should I keep my distance from him? Got it, he may be another Yi Dao Shi. This is weird. Why do I always subconsciously ignore something important like this? Huh! Someone's in the room. What was I thinking just now? Forget it, it doesn't matter. Coming straight into my room? Quite bold. After finishing my work in Mutter City in a few days, I hurried back non-stop to see you again, my princess. Drop the act, this is my room. The Xie Yan sect has long dared not monitor me. Well, just in case, look at you, you just got back from what? None of your business. I told you to stay there to hinder the Confederacy sect? Why did you come back this earlier? What's the hurry? There, don't get angry. I've killed one important figure of their plan to open the Gate of the Sun, and thus slowed down their progress. And I came to you to deal with our Xinhua oath. I've found a way to handle it. 2 days later, in the suburbs of the Imperial City. You even built a fort? I'm not here to provoke you, why are you so on alert? You've got me wrong, Your Highness, we built this for you so that you don't have to stand on the dust. Hope so, I'm here as promised, where's my mother? And Mr. Yan? Tu Lanja asked me here and I didn't expect you to join us. You must have made up your mind since you're here, will my appearance change anything? Calm down, Your Highness, the Queen's travel always needs a lot of preparations. We've had our elder go take her here, it won't take long. Preparations? You're just being wary of me. I admire your humor. You'd better be wary of Mr. Zhou rather than me. What if he doesn't want to stay neutral? Guess that will give you a headache. Thanks for your concern. But we've got a way to keep an eye on him. Besides, despite his wisdom, he's all alone. It's not that easy for him to reap benefits in the face of 2 powerful sections. Despite his wisdom, he's all alone? He's implying I'm alone. Huh! Finally? Yao Qi, at level 1 of the pre-celestial stage, from the Keshwaxi sect. That's Queen Saiya, Shilanwei's mother? I see. With the puppet beasts as the transport, they hid her outside the Imperial City. No wonder Yan Ryu's informer failed to find her. But why is Queen Saiya so calm after seeing her daughter? I don't even get any origin points. I haven't seen you for many years, mother. How are you? Who are you? Tu Lanja said you wanted to see me. What's your purpose? I knew it. The way you talk or act doesn't look like Wei, but you disguised as her and came to the Shilan Kingdom. What is your relationship with her? Where is Wei now? I knew it. They don't know how much I care about Queen Saiya, so they can't tell what I will do if Queen Saiya asks for help or complain to me about what happened during her capture. I lost my memories after getting injured, and that also changed my character. No wonder I'm now strange to you, but I swore I would always protect you. Nothing will change that. And so, they need Queen Saiya to keep her distance from me. It's not hard for a long-captured woman to be wary of me as long as they portray me as a fake with ill intentions. Just rest assured. Queen Saiya is so poor. Her relatives were killed, her daughter was missing, she was imprisoned, and she was probably brainwashed by Tu Lanja, the rebel leader, before being taken to me. Actually, she is a tough woman for staying calm after all this. Lost her memories? Good excuse, but it doesn't make sense to me. She's too powerful to be the real Shilan Wei. I haven't thought about this possibility. However, since she's got such a perfect excuse, why did she admit she's a fake in front of me? What a weirdo. Forget it since you don't want to be frank with me. Tu Lanja said you wanted to see me and make sure I'm still alive. Now that you've seen me alive, I may leave now. Feel free to get down to business. Queen Saiya. Ahem, Your Highness, I just told Queen Saiya that her acquaintance wanted to see her and didn't talk about your attitude. I didn't expect her to be this cold. Well, I've always been kind and polite to Queen Saiya all these years, and given her attitude, I don't think we should force her now. Forget it, since she is safe and sound, I won't bother to deal with the royal affairs now. Then what about the details of our cooperation? What's the hurry? I've come all the way from Shilio City. I need some rest tonight, right? We'll talk about it tomorrow. Okay, let's do as you say. Mr. Yan, please send Queen Saiya back. Yao Qi, you take care of this. Yes, Mr. Yan. 2 hours later, somewhere in the Shilan Kingdom. I didn't expect there would be a camp of the Keshluxi sect here except in the Imperial City. It would have been hard to find if it hadn't been for following the traces here with 5 elements shift. So far, everything's going well. Since your informer in the palace hasn't found the queen after so many days, they must have hidden her somewhere far away from the Imperial City. Once the queen's identity is confirmed, you will find a chance to keep up. With me staying close to the Imperial City, Yan Shirgu will not dare to leave the Gate of the Sun. Given other people's realms, they will not find you. According to Huayu, I need to contact him and save the queen with him once I find where the queen is. But it's my best choice to save the queen right now, but it's not the best choice for him. If I were him, I would never act rashly after finding the queen. It would be the safest way to save her after he got the Shilan treasury and the 2 sects left. Given his current choice, it seems that my art worked. I'm just your walkie-talkie. Stop bullying me. Walkie-talkie? What's that? Anyway, why does she keep this position? Looks like you've found where the queen is. Huayu? Yes, I'm now in a valley 30 miles northeast of the imperial city. Do you need me to tell you the specific route? No need, I know where it is. You look around with 5 elements shift now, and I'll sneak in and meet you there. Sneak in? Just like the last time? This is serious, don't mess with me. Don't worry. I've got other ways to get in. This is weird. I've searched this place thoroughly, but why couldn't I find Queen Saiya? The puppet beast hasn't got out from the ground before it got here, so I don't think the queen was taken away secretly, and the only place left is inside the puppet, where I can't get in with 5 elements shift. The queen has been locked up inside it all this time. This is troublesome. Once the puppet is activated, the queen in it will be a hostage. Even Huayu will feel fenced after getting here. And with puppets on alert in the air and disciples on guard in the yard, how will Huayu sneak in? These disciples are no match for Huayu, but their elder in the room will find him once any one of them warns the elder. How could Huayu make it? Huh! He just came in directly. Who's there? Informed the 5th elder. They just froze all of a sudden? Could it be? Magic realm variant, senses sealed. See? I've told you it's not that hard to sneak in. It's weird, why is it so quiet outside? What are those disciples doing? Humph? Done. If I sense right, there should be no one else here, right? Yes, I've checked around. There are only these disciples of Keshwaxi sect guarding the place. I suppose that Yan Shirgu is more concerned about the Gate of the Sun, so he didn't send too many disciples to help Tu Lanja watch the queen. By the way, Huayu, what technique did you use? How did you control a pre-celestial stage master so easily? It's just an illusion that can seal people's senses, no big deal. Illusion? Why do I feel it's like Shima's sex technique? But back then, Huayu didn't know this technique, which can instantly make pre-celestial stage masters paralyzed and unable to act. If I turn against him in the future, I'll definitely. I have to figure out this technique. Let's get down to business. Since you've checked around, have you found Queen Saiya? Well, I see. So Queen Saiya is probably still locked up in this puppet. Yes, I'm sure about it. I didn't lose her. This place is probably not the real place where Queen Saiya is locked up. I don't know why, but it seems that Keshwaxi sect just planned to make a brief stop here. So the gears of the Keshwaxi sect really can block my Moro senses open. Judging from the size, here should be the only place that can hide the queen. But if Yenryu didn't lie to me, why didn't Yan Shirgu hide the queen in the palace directly if Keshwaxi sect had some other things to do here? I feel something's wrong. There must be some secrets that I haven't figured out. Never mind, I'm not going to hide my intention from them this time. So how do we open this puppet? I was going to ask you to open it by force. But think it over, Queen Saiya is not a cultivator. If there's a mechanism inside the puppet, I'm afraid we'll put her in danger. In this case, we can only use Keshwaxi sect's method. The techniques of Keshwaxi sect always need to be carried out with external stuff. Each of their puppets has a corresponding pivot and order, so that the puppets can be lent to their fellows, which is a good way to deploy the forces of the sect. So I think whether this level 1 pre-celestial elder is the owner of this puppet or not, she must have the pivot with her. Since you have controlled her, why not frisk her? Or you can use mantra of hexatic senses on her to let her open the puppet for us. I can't, although this technique can seal people's senses and make them unable to act. It only has a long-lasting effect on post-celestial stage cultivators. As for pre-celestial stage cultivators, even the weakest ones can mobilize their internal power to set up a barrier. Therefore, the technique can't last long on them. As long as there is external interference, they will immediately recover, let alone use mantra of hexatic senses to control them. If mantra of hexatic senses could do this easily, Shima's sect would have already occupied the world. However, I can't touch her body, but I can try to get some information from her memory with the illusion and mantra of hexatic senses, but it depends on luck if she has the pivot to open the puppet. Open a slit of the sealed senses and free her consciousness. And then guide her consciousness with the heart desire branch and magic realm. Then maybe the most important part of her memory can be shown in the illusion. Come on, let me show you. I'm in an illusion made by Huayu. When was I dragged in here? It's so real. It seems to be the memory of that disciple of Keshwaxi sect. I didn't expect Huayu to have such an ability. I'll leave this matter to you. What matter? Make it clear. Sure enough, to get some specific information, this method is still unreliable. Humph? Keshwaxi sect, lighting phantom. Pre-celestial stage masters are indeed prudent and alert. The moment when their sixth senses are unsealed, they can react to it, and use their life-saving means. Even though I've used the heart desire branch, it still couldn't last long on her. She still woke up. It's you, fake Xilan Wei. How dare you break into here? So what? I even broke into the palace, let alone this small mansion. Ruyu, you go save the queen. I'll keep her occupied and she won't have time to manipulate the puppet. It's weird, why did her voice sound familiar? Even if you keep her occupied, do you really think you can save the queen? Yao Qi doesn't have to manipulate this puppet to fight, she just needs to send me messages. Is this Yan Shia's voice? This. I see, turns out we've been in the trap at the beginning. The one I met is not the real queen, but a humanoid puppet manipulated by Keshwaxi sect. You used this fake to fool me? Has Tu Lunja ever thought of the consequence after fooling me? Before Lunja figures out your read intention, he won't dare to show you his trump card. It might be his life-saving card. If it weren't for you using the weakness we intentionally exposed to save the queen, I would not dare to conclude that Queen Saiya can be a bargaining chip for your negotiation. Yen Ryu's plan fell through. It's no use looking at me, it's not my fault. No wonder I felt her voice was familiar. It turns out that it was she who manipulated this fake queen to talk to me. Fine, you won. What conditions do you want to tell me about the whereabouts of the real queen? Leaving aside her voice, the fifth elder of our sect is good at manipulating humanto puppets. The puppets in her hands are vivid with every move. It's normal that you haven't seen through it before. As for the conditions, Keshwaxi sect only wants one thing from you: give up bed hedging, stop the cooperation with Xiliang sect, and help Keshwaxi sect to win the Xilan treasury. You're giving me a general condition. I haven't been involved in the game of getting the treasury. How can I get involved now? Besides, if you just go away when you fail to get the treasury, where can I get Queen Saiya back? You don't have to worry about that. This matter does not need to wait until the end of the battle between Keshwaxi sect and Xiliang sect. According to the intelligence we caught, Xiliang sect has occupied the Gate of the Moon, but they don't have the key to open the treasury. Therefore, they've used a secret technique to produce the blood refining bug to refine Xilan people's blood as the key. I've known this thing long ago, but I haven't found the place where they hid the bug. Since you are still in cooperation with Xilzang sect, it's easy for you to walk around in Shilio City, as long as you can find the place and destroy the blood refining bug, which can quench their hope of opening the treasury. I'll tell you the whereabouts of the real queen. Can't be such a coincidence, right? So the bug I killed before is the spare key for Xiliang sect to open the treasury? The blood refining bug you mentioned is that blood refining bug? Blood refining bug is a secret technique of Xiliang sect, and it's very difficult to produce one. What do you mean by that blood refining bug? This is indeed a tough task. If you don't have any clues, we can send some merchants' puppets to help you. Well, it's indeed difficult. It took me one whole night, but I solved this matter in the end. This is the blood refining bug? And there's a deactivated blood crystal inside. She even broke the key? It's not easy to refine the key, and it's impossible for Xiliang sect to refine another one. How? How did you? Well, I have to say it's a coincidence that we were on the same page. After you check it, remember to give me back. I have other uses for this thing. But why? I thought you were in cooperation with Xiliang sect. I was in cooperation with them and wanted to take advantage of their strength to attack the Imperial City and drive you and Tu Lanja out of Xilan. But since we've made a truce, the cooperation with them is meaningless. Besides, if they keep their promise and behave themselves, I won't go against them. But since they tried to play tricks behind my back, I had to teach them a lesson. The foundation of all cooperations is trust. Xiliang sect doesn't even understand this simple truth. They deserve to be retaliated against. I believe you agree with me, right? Looks like that stupid woman Huili really offended her deeply. She deserves to be the disciple of Wennao's sect. She's very overbearing. Don't worry, Keshwaxi sect is not like Xiliang sect. We will never betray our cooperative partners. But as I said before, what we can only offer you is the whereabouts of Queen Saiya. I know you always have a doubt about why Tu Lanja, and we can be so sure that you are not the real princess, right? We didn't expect that you would use memory loss as an excuse, but the real Xilan wet with complete memory will never say anything like saving my mother. Because back then when the imperial city was in chaos, Xilan Wei saw with her own eyes her mother's head being chopped off by Tu Lanja. The queen who showed up in public later was either someone sent by Tu Lanja disguised as her, or our puppet prepared for Tu Lanja. The real Queen Saiya has long been dead. Queen Saiya was dead? And the real Xilan Wei knew about this? Does that mean the Xinhua oath can't be lifted anymore?